Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Erin, and today I have a reflecting on past purchases video. Apparently, I'm supposed to be doing these like quarterly, and I forgot one of them last year, but I'm going to try to stick to my schedule this year. But basically what I'm doing in this video is I'm looking at my purchases from January, February, and March of 2024, and I am giving reviews on them because at this point I have either been using them for a year or I have used them up completely. So I have quite a few products. I did not even count them because there's a lot, but I do have quite a few products to go over. So we will be looking at my purchases from the first quarter of last year. So if that sounds interesting, go ahead and stick around. I have all of my products, all of my numbers pulled up, and we will get into it right now. All right, so I do have my spreadsheet pulled up from last year, and if I have the product or a similar product, if I have repurchased them, I will hold them up for you guys just so you can see them. Otherwise, I will be popping up pictures of these items so that you guys can recognize them if you see them. But starting with the beginning of 2024, I actually had some purchases that I made in late 2023 that did roll over into 2024's budget. So I want to quickly touch on those. And one of the purchases was I purchased 8 of my normal sponges from DSMD Shop. And all 8 of those I have used throughout last year, and I have decluttered or called those empties because I used my sponges for 6 months and then I roll them out. But of course, since this is my Holy Grail sponge, I did purchase more. This is the one that I used today, so it is kind of plumped up because I got it wet. But I love the DSMD Shop sponges. Number one, because I feel like they don't soak up a lot of product. They wash and wear really, really well. And they also have this flat side to them, which I love for when I'm done with my entire look. I will spray the flat side with setting spray, and then I will press all of my products into my face and into my skin with that flat edge. So I love these. I purchase these every single year, and so I did get my use out of my 8 sponges that I purchased from DSMD Shop. And then I made a ColourPop purchase. So I had purchased in December of last year, I purchased one of the, I almost call this a lip butter balm. Can you tell what's on my mind? But this is the Soul Body Bronzing Balm. Now, this is not the one that I purchased last December because I did use that one up completely. This is my repurchase to that, but I do buy these in the shade Light. I have gone through quite a few. The one that I purchased in December of 2023 is actually number 4 that I've gone through. So this one here is number 5, and as you guys can see, I already have pan on it. I love these. I've actually purchased 2 more of these to have in backup because I was fearful that ColourPop was going to discontinue these, and you cannot get any better bang for your buck because you get, what, 31 grams of bronzer balm in here, and typically I get these 50% off for $7.50. So can't go wrong with these. I know right now ColourPop is having a sale on their site that's kind of like the farewell to things. I have not looked at that because I don't want to be tempted, but I really hope that these bronzing balms are not on there because this is such a good product. Now they do run warm, so kind of be aware of that. This is not a contour product. This is something that runs warm, so this is strictly a bronzer. But I do also love taking that as I hit myself in the face, taking it down my neck to bronze up the rest of me to kind of help match. But I do love that product. Then I picked up in that same ColourPop order, I did pick up the cream gel liner in Wildcat, which this is actually a repurchase. I have gone through a whole Wildcat in the past, and it's just this beautiful greeny gold shade. Love this. You guys know that I love wearing green looks, even though I have this Anytime I do like a burgundy and blue or pink and blue look, I always think cotton candy. So I have a cotton candy look today, but I do love these golden greens. So Wildcat is a repurchase. And then I did purchase the lip liner that I'm using right now in my project pan, which is Brink from ColourPop. And like I said, you guys see me panning this in my regular project pan, but that is Brink, just a warm toned kind of terracotta pink. So that is Brink. And like I said, you guys are watching me pan this in my regular project pan. Now, another repurchase that I got from ColourPop is the lipstick in Virgo Moon. I panned a complete Virgo Moon 2 years ago and missed it so much, not only the color, but the formula of this one, that I had to pick it up again. And actually Virgo Moon matches really nicely with Brink. And so that is Virgo Moon right there. I just think that these velvet, are these actually called velvet? What are these called? The Luxe lipsticks. They should be called the velvet lipsticks because they do have that velvety feel to them. Beautiful, beautiful lipstick. So I am very happy to have Virgo Moon back in my life. And it makes sense also because I am a Virgo. So that is why I love having that lipstick in my collection. Then the last item that I picked up in that ColourPop order is something that I just rolled into my project pan, which is the Shadow Stick in So Celestial. And this is just this nice antique bronze shade right here. And I did just roll that into my, no. My mouth is getting ahead of me. This just got rolled into my project pan for me to try to use it up or use as much as I need to or want to or can this year of this shadow stick. I love using shadow sticks for like my outer corner to darken up and kind of use as liners. So they do go in my liner inventory. And actually I'm wearing another ColourPop shadow stick as my inner corner highlight, and then I took it up a little bit onto my lids. And so if you see a little bit of a duochrome shift going on, that is actually a shadow stick from ColourPop. So these are actually really, really nice. And then, so that was everything that I purchased in 2023 that got into my 2024 budget and on my spreadsheet. So everything going forward is going to be from January, February, and March of 2024. So at the very beginning of the year, I did pick up 2 SPFs from Laneige. They have since discontinued this formula, but I picked them up from FabFitFun. They were on like super clearance. And so I got them each for $6 each. So that is a really good deal. But I have since gone on to pan both of those SPFs last year. And then the next item that I have still, and this is actually, let me show you what it is and then I'll tell you the story. So this is the Natasha Denona My Mini Dream Glow Blush. And so it was in the My Dream collection, and it's this mini trio with 2 blushes and then a highlight shade. Love this to pieces. But this is the last blush that I have purchased. So I purchased this on the 2nd of January last year, and that was the last blush that I actually brought into my collection. That makes me feel really good because I know last year I had trouble using all of my blushes in my Project 10 uses, and so I kind of told myself, you do not need any more blushes, even though there's plenty of blushes that released last year and blushes that are tempting me. Which if I do end up buying another blush for myself, I kind of want one of the Gucci ones. If I'm going to be a little bit bougie, I wouldn't mind having one of the Gucci blushes, but this one is doing well in my collection. I love using it. It rolled into my Project 10 uses last year. I think I rolled it into even a deck of panning last year. So I got some really good use on that Natasha Denona blush. And then the next item that I ended up getting was one of my Ordinary hyaluronic acid serums. I'll pop up a picture, but you guys should know what the ordinary hyaluronic acid serum looks like, and I have since used that one up. I do take that serum and mix it in with my nighttime moisturizer just to really get hydration down into my skin. I am an oily skin type, but my skin is also dehydrated. So I try to pack a lot of moisture into my skin at night since I can't wear anything heavy during the day. And speaking of that, I did end up getting a little like trial size of the Biossance Squalene and Omega Repair cream, just like a little 5 ml. It was like either a point perk or something like that from Sephora. And so I did end up getting one of those and I used that up. You guys would have seen that as an empty in my empties for the year. An empty in the empties. Revolutionary errand. But you guys would have seen that done. But I really do love the Biossance like cream gels. They're a really beautiful formula. Anytime that I find them at like a TJ Maxx for a discount, I do pick those up as just a little treat for my skin. My skin does really well with squalene type of products. And then looking at my biggest purchase of January of last year, that would have been all of my e.l.f. Jelly Pop primers. So this is the one that I'm currently using. You guys can see how far I am on this product and how it's getting thinner. So this is actually number 10. So this one here is actually my first one that I've started using that is out of all of the Jelly Pop primers that I bought last year. This is the first one that I've gotten to. So the 3 or 4 that I used up last year were from previous purchases, and now I'm starting on my 2024 stash. Let me count real quick and tell you guys how many of these I actually picked up in January of last year. So I picked up 11 of these. So this was the last time that e.l.f. re-released this product. They have not teased it. They have not like said they're going to release it again for a limited run. But e.l.f. did bring this back last January and I wasn't taking any chances, so I bought 11 of them. So definitely love these. Besides, like this is my only primer in my collection apart from my e.l.f. Liquid Poreless Putty Primer. So those are the only primers in my collection, but this is pretty much my only like hydrating sticky primer in my collection. And this is the only primer I need for the next like 2 years for as long as it takes me to use these up. Now today I am wearing the Tear foundation and I only put on the Liquid Poreless Putty Primer and it made my skin look so dry and textured with only the pore filling primer and the Tear foundation. But if I use this with a little bit more of the hydration, then the Tear goes on a whole lot better. So I think while I am trying to pan the Tear foundation, I'm going to need to use this primer because I need this extra shot of hydration and dewiness to my skin for that foundation to look good. So I hate that that product is discontinued right now, but we will see if e.l.f. ever brings it back. During that same e.l.f. order, I ended up getting a Holy Hydration Daily Cleanser. I used that up and you guys saw that in my empties. I also ended up getting a Suntouchables Invisible Sunscreen, the SPF 35 and a mini. You guys saw that in my empties. I ended up getting a full size of that as like a free gift in a future order. That's the really silicone one, and that one doesn't like mixing with my other products. So that is an SPF that I would just wear by itself because it does create a really nice blurred matte finish on my face, but I just can't do my makeup over top of it because it pills. So again, that's with my skincare that I'm putting underneath it. It might work for you, so see how that goes for you. And then I ended up getting a little mini of the Holy Hydration face cream. Again, I used up that. You guys would have seen that in my moisturizer empties for last year as well. But all 3 of those other e.l.f. products came as like free gifts or free samples with that e.l.f. order. Then I ended up picking up some Empty palettes from Give Me Glow. I love the empty palettes from Give Me Glow. I think that they're such great quality. The magnets in them is really, really nice. It holds the shadows nice and secure. But I did pick up this 24 pan. And so this one is called the Magical Garden with like all the moths and butterflies and stuff. And then this is just what I have on the inside of this one. I think that the color story in here very much is kind of like a magical garden type of color story. I love this color story, but this is mainly Sydney Grace, Makeup Geek, and ColourPop shades in here. So this is one of my custom palettes that I have made for myself. So love this one. And again, the quality on these palettes is so, so good. I also picked up during that same order, I ended up getting a 12 pan, and this is the Mr. Grinch 12 pan. It does have red, green, and like brown glitters in there. And bless it, I know Andy had told me because she was looking at some of these palettes, and I was like, it's kind of like the same glitter that's on these sultry palettes, so you can feel the glitter. And she goes, oh no, the texture thing I can't do. So she can't do that. But the glitter does not come off on you. It's just, you can feel the little bit of a grittiness from the glitter, but it does not come off the palette. And this one, I just have some extra little shadows stuck in here so that if I ever do want to swap out some shades, then I can kind of pull from this palette. But this palette is not, this palette's not even in my inventory. This palette's not in my No Pan Left Behind. This is just kind of storage. But I do have some Alamar Cosmetics shades in here. I have a couple Makeup Geek shades in here. This one up here is a ColourPop shade, and then some of these other ones are from like the pure palettes that used to come in the BoxyCharms. So this is just a holding pattern type of palette, but I know that if I wanted to do a really cool green palette, a 12 pan in here, this one would be really great for that as well. So I did pick up those two palettes from Give Me Glow. And then I did pick up, let me grab the one out of my drawer that I'm using right now. So when I went back in, I ended up ordering, as something is in my eye, I ended up ordering more Jelly Pop primers from e.l.f. Later on in January. And during that order too, I did pick up a e.l.f. Wow Brow. I do get this one in, what shade is this? Neutral brown, I believe. And I love this one for the little tiny brush that is on here. It just works so well to comb through my brows. Since I dye my hair darker than my natural color, my brows are a little bit more blonde, and I don't dye my eyebrows. So between filling in my eyebrows with my pencil and then using a brow mascara, that's how I get my brows to match my darker hair color. So love these. These are now a holy grail staple in my brow routine. So I constantly repurchase these, and I used up the one that I bought last year. This is another one, and then I have another one in backup already. So if that doesn't tell you that it's a holy grail that I have, that I used up the one from last year and I have two right now, then I don't know how to express to you that that is a very good product. Does not have hold, it just tints your brows. Want to put that out there. And then the last thing that I purchased last January was going to be one of my Equate creams. So I do, for my nighttime moisturizer, like I said, I mix in the hyaluronic acid serum into my lotion. And I typically just get one of the big tubs of the Equate brand, which is the Walmart generic brand of like the CeraVe like moisturizer, regular moisturizer, and I mix in the hyaluronic acid serum, and I also mix in like a big old dollop of Aquaphor, and I mix and I whip that into the cream, and then that is my nighttime cream. So I'm getting the hyaluronic acid, I'm getting a really good moisturizer, and I'm also getting Aquaphor in there that seals everything in. And that's just the way that I do my nighttime moisturizer. But I did go through that entire tub last year because my husband and I use the same cream for our nighttime moisturizer. So basically I went through that one. And that's only $11 for like a huge tub of it. So I am all about keeping to my budget. So that's everything that I purchased in January. And out of everything, so if I'm looking at even going back to the items that I covered, so I only have the DSMD shop sponges listed on one line times 8, but that's 8 sponges that I went through. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So just out of those items that I covered, I did use up 11 of those items. So that feels really good to have those items off of my list. Now, of course, I do have some things in here like the palettes that those are not necessarily going to be used up because they are tools. So still, even 11 items gone out of everything that I picked up feels really good for I'm using the things within the year that I'm purchasing them. But let's roll into my purchases for February of last year. So I did pick up 2 hair masks from Shea Moisture, Manuka Honey one, and one was the Jamaican Black Castor Oil, but both of those are really intensive hair masks. I use hair mask for my conditioner instead of standard conditioner, so I love the Shea Moisture products. I think that I like the Black Castor Oil one better than the honey one, but both of those for me are interchangeable as far as adding that huge dose. What is going on with my mouth today? That huge dose of moisture to my hair. So I did use up both of those last year. And have I repurchased anything from Shea Moisture? I'm not sure. I think I'm trying some other stuff right now, but I would consistently go back to those, and I have used up lots of those in the past. I did end up going back to Give Me Glow and getting one more palette because I wanted to do some condensing. So this one is the magenta glitter one, and this has all of my lethal singles in it. I do have 2 other lethal palettes, the Wildflower and the Nightflower, but since those 2 palettes are actual palettes that lethal sell, I cannot talk today, and I apologize. I am trying so hard. So hard. But Lethal sells those palettes already put together, so I was not going to deconstruct those, even though I would if I wanted to condense space. But these are all shades that I have picked out for myself, that I created 2 12 pans for myself, but I condensed them to make one 24 pan. And again, these are the fall, cool, not cool tones, but like this reminds me of fall. So we have like the leaves that are turning, we have the green, we have the browns. Like I love this color story so, so much. These are the earthy tones. And actually when I was creating one of these 12 pans, I was trying to dupe the Melt Cosmetics like Zodiac collection, the earth palette, since I am a Virgo, I'm an earth sign. So I was trying to dupe that with quality of shadows that I think is better than what Melt was going to put out. So I did create something very similar to that with these shades. So if you guys are seeing that earthy note, but I also wanted some really fun pops in there as well. So I love the Lethal formula. It is beautiful. So and again, they fit perfectly. 24 pans fit perfectly into this palette, so I am very, very happy with this one as well. So I did pick up another palette. Now, I'm going to pop a picture up of this one. So I do have one of the Vanny Cream Moisturizing Lotions. It's a 16-ounce pump. I had gone through the Vanny Cream that was like the daytime moisturizer, and that one was more lightweight, but I wanted something more for nighttime, so I picked up the regular Vanny Cream, and I keep that by my nighttime skincare. So if I ever just want to throw on a really nice like moisturizer, especially if if I wash my face whenever I get home and I'm not ready to do my full nighttime skincare routine, but I want to put moisture back on my face while I do the rest of my evening, like cooking dinner and like, hanging out with the dogs, all that stuff. then I will just slap on the Vanity Cream because I know that my skin will soak it right up. And then if I wash my face again for my nighttime shower, then I can do my full skincare routine. But the Vanity Cream is great. My allergy doctor also recommended the Vanity Cream because he said that sometimes people can get sensitive to some of the ingredients in CeraVe, especially because I was having more and more issues with like eczema. So he's like, sometimes people can get sensitive to CeraVe. So he said, try the Vanity Cream, and I kind of haven't gone back. I kind of have stuck with the Vanity Cream kind of going forward. So I do love that one. Pick that up on Amazon. It was super easy to find on there. But now a product that I did use up last year. This is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Loose Powder. And again, I'll pop up a picture. But with that one, it was a recommendation from Andy, and I have to admit, me and her have very different skin types, so I should have known better, but she loves that powder for her more dry-ish skin, but for me, that did not hold back my oils, so that, I looked extremely oily by the end of the day whenever I used that powder, so I ended up mixing that powder into some other things and using it up that way, but that wasn't empty for last year. Another item that I picked up in February was a repurchase, and that is for my NYX glitter glue. I do use this every single day that I do my makeup because I do have oily lids, and so my face loves to just eat my makeup, and so I want to give it the best fighting chance. And actually, I was finally able to get the air bubble out of this, and look how far down I am on this one already. Even though my last one that I used up, I think I got like 400 something uses on it, but I am tracking this one completely as far as how many uses I am going to get out of this tube. This is the second or third one that I've gone through, and so this is a constant in my eyeshadow routine, and I do wear that every single time I do my makeup. An item that I ended up using up was the Good Molecules Yerba Mate Wake Up Eye Gel. It's the little eye cream that comes in the aluminum tube that is that bright yellow color. I used that up last year. It was nice, but I didn't see any changes from using it. So maybe my under eyes are a little bit maybe too old. I don't know. Maybe my under eyes have a little bit more concerns that was not able to tackle, but I did use that up. I did go back in and do another purchase from ColourPop. I actually had to reach back and get one of the items because I forgot to pull it out, but I did pick up another shadow stick, and this is in Socialite. This is in my Project 10 uses right now, and this is just this beautiful kind of rose gold champagne shade right there. I love to put this on the inner corner or to brighten up my lower lash line. So again, I love the ColourPop shadow sticks. And I picked up another cream gel liner, and this is in Wild Idea. This is one of the duochrome liners from ColourPop, and it's already starting to feel a little bit dry. But once I get through that kind of like crust, that dry crust on the top of it, I can get a good swatch, but it kind of looks like Wildcat, but maybe with a little bit more sparkle, but it does have a like teal blue shift to it. But I will say when it's on the eyes, you cannot tell that it has a shift. When I do a like big swatch on my hand, yes, you can tell there's a shift, but not on the eyes. But I rolled this in for one of my Project 10 uses, prompts last year, so I got some use off of it, but I would not purchase any more of the duochrome liners. And then I do have another purchase. I purchased another Luxe lipstick in Still Crazy. That one was, I actually mixed that one in with my Franken Cream blushes, so I picked a color that I would like as a cheek color, and I actually emptied that entire lipstick bullet out into my cream blushes, melted it down, mixed it in there, so that is frankened into my blushes. So I did pick up that other lipstick. One more thing from ColourPop, I did purchase one of these Soul Body BFD cleansing oils. Again, I'll pop a picture up because that is an empty. I did use that one up last year. It is a beautiful cleansing oil, but I have found ones from K-Beauty that are cheaper for more product. So I am going with those and I get the same excellent results. But if you're purchasing stuff from ColourPop and it's on sale and you want to add it, it is a beautiful cleansing oil. So it used to be a holy grail before I found something that was better for my beauty budget. My last purchases of February of last year was I made a purchase from Nikia Joy. She did a sale around Valentine's Day, and so I picked up 3 powders, and so I used up 2 of them out of the 3 last year. So I did pick up one of the regular velvet finishing powders, the regular loose ones. So I picked up a regular velvet finishing powder. I picked up the brightening one, which is the pink one, and then I picked up a velvet finishing powder pressed. So out of those 3 powders, I used up the brightening one and I used up the regular velvet finishing powder, but the pressed one I haven't even opened yet. I got this one to be my purse powder after my Makeup Forever powder is gone. I do currently have the Makeup Forever powder in my 25 and 2025, so I do want to finish that powder this year so I can start using this pressed one because, but they definitely are in different categories. So this one is just a translucent powder, so it's not going to add coverage, while the Makeup Forever one does add coverage because it's a powder foundation. But I think that if I am just touching up because of my oils, this will definitely do. But if I have like pieces of my makeup that are rubbed off, this is not going to add coverage. But I do love the Nikia Joy Velvet Finishing Powder. It is my holy grail. So I purchased these over and over. Hence, again, why I have brand new ones, because I did purchase more last year during the Black Friday times. But she always is holding sales around the holidays. So Valentine's Day, Memorial Day, 4th of July, Boxing Day, Black Friday. So like she has sales all the time, so you can get these items definitely not for full price. Please do not pay full price for your stuff. So if I'm looking at everything that I purchased in February, one of those was actually a tool, so it was my palette. But the rest of them, I used up 7 of my items that I purchased in February of last year. That makes me feel really good because apart from the palette, that only leaves 6 items that I still have in rotation. So I used up 7 and I still have 6. So I still feel like I'm coming out on top. But let's roll into my items that I purchased in March of last year and see how I did. But in March of last year, I did pick up a Paula's Choice, there's an S at the end of that, Paula's Choice order, and I did pick up a repurchase of the 2% BHA toner. That was a holy grail until I'm trying something from K-Beauty that is cheaper but apparently has like the same ingredients. I don't know how I feel about them being like a 1-for-1 swap of each other. I kind of do miss the BHA toner, but I would only use that at night, so it did leave a little bit more of a like slip on my skin, which I didn't mind for nighttime, but I did not use that during the day. But I do love that, and I had purchased tons and tons of those in the past. And then I did get one of the Paula's Choice weightless body treatments with 2% BHA, and I use that for my KP, and I use that on my chest. I discovered that product last year and I love it to pieces. So I've gone on to repurchase more that I've seen at like TJ Maxx and things like that. So I got a full size, and then I also got a mini of the body treatment. I used up both of those last year, so those are done. So that was all of my purchase from Paula's Choice. Then middle of March, so 21 Days of Beauty had rolled around, and I did pick up another one of my NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealers, and I do get it in Light 2.5 Creme Brulee. I am currently panning one of these in my Project Pan, but this is the brand new one, so this is the one that I purchased last year. It has not been touched because I am not done with my other one yet, but this is the concealer that I use for my acne breakouts, my healing spots, my discoloration, because even after my hormonal acne heals, it leaves red and dark spots all over my face, and so I need a really potent concealer to help me out with that. This is actually number 3 that I've purchased. The one that I'm using up right now is number 2, so I've panned one in the past. I'm working on panning number 2, and then this will be number 3 rolling into my collection. But because it was part of the 21 Days of Beauty, I did get that half off last year, which is all right by me. I did make a trip to TJ Maxx, and I picked up some of the CosRx Master Patches, the 90 pack. That is my favorite pimple patch like brand and packet. Like, I just feel, number one, it comes in like 3 different sizes, plus you get a sheet of the really thin ones that I've actually worn makeup over those before and it didn't look bad. But I think out of all the pimple patches that I've tried, the CosRx ones, they actually stick and stay. So even if I put them on my face and then do my entire skincare routine and like even slather my face with like facial oil or all of my like creams and stuff like that, those pimple patches do not pull up. They do not move. They do not fall off in the middle of the night. I actually wore a pimple patch. I have a little pimple right under my nose right here, and it's one of the ones that's like small and in there and it hurts. But I put a pimple patch on it last night and my allergies were so bad, so I was even blowing my nose. And that pimple patch did not come off my face, even though I was blowing my nose. So I love those. The pack that I bought last year, I've already gone through that pack, but that is something that I definitely repurchase consistently. I'm not heavily advertising or focusing or displaying this brand on my channel, but just an aside. Last March, I did purchase my Ensley Rain Cold Moon palette, and that's all I'm going to say about that. But that palette did come into my collection last March. The next item that I picked up, this one was also part of the 21 Days of Beauty, and that was the Bobbi Brown Long Wear Concealer. I ended up hating the doe foot of that one because it's a horrible shape of a doe foot. I don't know who it's good for, but I like the product. So the concealer was a good concealer, just the doe foot is trash. So I ended up depotting all of that concealer into my empty Natasha Denona concealer, component and using it up that way. But that was one of my concealer empties from last year. Then I went back to TJ Maxx, which apparently I did a lot of TJ Maxx perusing last year. But I picked up the Verb Glossy Shampoo Jumbo. I'll pop a picture up here. I do love the Verb products. I'm actually working my way through a Verb Ghost Oil Jumbo right now, and then I will roll into using the Glossy Jumbo after that. And so love those shampoos and also love getting them on super sale at TJ Maxx. And then back to Ulta for the end of the 21 Days of Beauty, but I did pick up one of my Holy Grail balm formulas, and that is the Too Faced Hangover Pillow Balm. So I picked up 2 of the banana, so the Banana Kiss ones. This one is still in the packaging because I have not opened this one up yet to use it. Probably tomorrow I'm filming my buys and buys, and you will actually see my other banana one in my empties. So I was able to use up one of my banana ones, and then I still have this one here in the box. And then I did pick up the duo of these from the holiday set and the Ice Crystal, the blue one, which actually that would have been pretty with like the blue shimmer on my lips with my look today. But I used that one this morning, but that one's in my Project 10 uses, and I really am enjoying that one. It has a blue raspberry scent to it, and it is so, so good. So I love this formula. I love when they include these in the 21 Days of Beauty because I love picking them up for a discount. So I picked up 2 of those, and I've gone through 1. So if I look at my products from March, one of them was a palette, and then I used up 6. 1 was a palette, and 3 are still waiting for me to use them. So that feels really good for my numbers. Let me get a total roundup of my numbers for you. All right, so since I am a numbers junkie, and I know a bunch of you guys are too, out of all of the products that I purchased in the first quarter of last year, I took out the empty palettes because they're tools, and I took out the one eyeshadow palette that I purchased in that first 3 months. So taking out those items, I had a total of 56 total items that I could potentially actually use up, because I'm not ever going to use up my eyeshadow palettes. It is what it is. But 56 items had the potential for me to use them up, and I was able to complete 31 of them. So that is over 50%. Do I really want to do the percentages? Now I'm curious. Now I have to do it. So 31 divided by 56. So 55% of my items I was able to complete throughout the year. That makes me feel so, so good. And that is where, I do bring a lot of things into my collection. I do want to try different formulas and different things, but I also have a lot of formulas that are my tried and true and that I continue to repurchase because I know they will work good for my routine and my skin. But I try to preach the whole conscious consumerism thing, but I still bring things into my collection. But I also want to point out that I am consistently using up my items. And so as I do this series throughout the year, I kind of want to update that percentage because I know as I go along, like I'll end up using up 4 of my 11 primers by the end of the year. I will end up using up maybe a shadow stick. I'm going to end up using up some of my, like the Vanny cream, so that'll be another empty. I might end up going through the glitter glue this year. So there's things that I'm still going to be using up throughout the year. So the percentage of items that I am using up versus what I'm bringing in is just going to go up and up and up. And that is the whole mindset that I try to talk about and the mindset that I try to practice is using up what I bring in. Again, my eyeshadow palettes, they just don't count. Like, I know I'm not going to use those up, and I'm okay with that. Like, I have made peace with that. I've made peace with how I'm spending my money and how I'm storing things. So I'm okay with that. I'm not asking you guys to validate that part, even though thank you for validating me decluttering / counting that eyeliner as an empty. That thing is gonzo. I'm never putting that thing back on my eyes again. So thank you for that. But I'm okay with where my eyeshadows are sitting, but everything else in my collection, I want to see that I'm going through it. So very, very happy with my numbers, very happy that I'm actually getting use out of my items. And so I feel like I'm sitting in a really good zone. And actually, I started going through other months to see what I have used up already in those other categories, and there's more and more items that I have already used up from quarter 2. So by the time we get around to me filming that video, my percentage is going to be so good because I've already used up a bunch of those items. So I feel extremely good about that. But this is a series where I need to actually put it into my calendar that I am filming these videos for my quarterly update so I don't miss one, because I love reflecting back on items that I have used up to completion, things that are holy grails, things that I discovered and then I decided to repurchase because they became holy grails, or they have been a dethroning item. So I want to remain mindful about that, because once I've found an item that works for me, why do I need to kiss a bunch of more frogs if I've already found my prince? Unless my prince gets discontinued, then I might have to go out and kiss some frogs, but I'm good for right now. So that is just my mindset about my makeup consumption. So I do appreciate you guys for being here with me. You guys are going to have to let me know maybe what your most memorable purchase from the first quarter of last year was. And let me look at mine as Wash comes over here to say hello. You woke up from your nap? If my camera has moved frames, then it is because this guy just knocked my table and knocked my tripod. But I would say out of my purchases from the first quarter of last year, the most memorable probably would have to be my Give Me Glow palettes. And it's not even a product because, I mean, I love the products that I purchased, but I just feel like these helped me organize my like eyeshadow collection even more and like create palettes that inspire me. Apart from the Give Me Glow palettes, I was just happy to pick up 11 of these when they brought them back, just so that I could have, you know, another couple years of my favorite primer. So for me, that's what I would say I was most excited about for last year, but you guys will have to tell me your standout products or how many products from last year, from the first quarter, did you use up? Let me know how you guys are doing with your ins and outs. And that leads me into my next video that will go up after this one is going to be my buys and buys. I do have some exciting buys for February as far as my purchases, and I have some decent empties. So wasn't looking so hot on my empties in January, so I stepped up my game a little bit in February. So very happy about what came in and out of my collection. And of course, we discussed the beauty budget in that video as well, so stick around for that. But at this point, I'm going to encourage you to do all the things. Hit a thumbs up on this video. Let me know that you guys are enjoying my content. If you are new or if you're lurking, or if, like a couple of you guys said, you just clicked on my video last time because of the eye look in my Project Pan video, then click on the video for this eye look too, because I am testing out some blues, which is not my favorite shade on me, but I definitely love having a nice little pop on my eyes. So if you're new, lurking, if you just clicked here because of who knows what, consider sticking around. Hit that subscribe button. It's free for you, but it does help me out a lot. My channel is growing and growing each day, and I do appreciate you guys so much. Drop me that comment down below. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know about your products from last year, how you're doing on your beauty budget, how you're doing on your project pans. I love to chat with you guys down in the comment section as well. But I do appreciate each and every one of you guys for being here. I hope that you guys got your fill of Washburn whenever he jumped on me. And now that I said his name, he's coming back. I hope that each and every one of you has a beautiful day. And I'm going to catch you in my next one.